Good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning from the West Coast, and good afternoon from the East Coast. I'm your host, Tony Twist. This is ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. And as always, joined by my co-host, Alex, the sports mouth of the 313. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm actually good. Got a lot of rest, a lot of obviously I'm in Michigan. I had to get some things in order this morning.
Yeah.
Meaning like I had to go pick up obviously like I said, I do the other Word on the Street show. And everybody could tune into that show for Spotlight Wednesday. Just want to do a quick plug. 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then we do it again on Saturday. Chop it up Saturdays. I'm losing my thought here.
Yeah, you sound like
you're
putting me to
over
sleep,
there,
man.
So and you know what? I plugged us great yesterday. I was on my shit. So
all right, hold on. Let's start over. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. If you're tuning in on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch. We're at your neighbor's house. We're live on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, come on over to Facebook. We got a great guest today, Savannah Gill. She is a wrestling journalist. Got tongue-tied. Wrestling journalist, and she's a contributor also to the Wrestling Republic. And she's going to be talking all wrestling with us today. So we're going to not waste any time. We're going to bring Savannah into the stream. Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, should I say? You're on the
good afternoon, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the East Coast.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask her, jumping right off the rip, I got a question for you. Like, so where are you at?
I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay. But yeah, he was, I was trying to explain, like, I'll keep it short and sweet, but like the wind over here, I'm in Southwest Detroit. And like the wind was like blowing like 50 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour yesterday. So I had my morning consisted of going and picking up pieces of siding from my house, a few houses down the street. So yeah, Michigan weather, typical. But thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your life and coming on the show. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. And I want to point out I'm a Cincinnati native, so I know all about the weather. Yeah.
Well, you know all about that Midwest weather.
Yeah.
Hey, Savannah, I just want to ask you one quick favor. Would you mind turning your mic down a little bit? I don't know if you're able to turn your mic down a little bit. Gotta love technology.
Right.
So while she's working on that, we're going to kind of just chat here. It's been a crazy week. Ring of Honor had their final show last night. Hopefully not for good, but a lot of surprises, a lot of big things went down. I don't know if you caught any of that, Savannah, but man, just a ton of stuff happening this week. And we want to hear all about your contributing to the Wrestling Republic. Talk to us about your background and journalism, your love for wrestling, I'm assuming. We'll talk to you about our love for wrestling. So we got some people joining us on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, come on over. We're also live on just a bunch of other formats. So happy Sunday, everybody, and let's talk some wrestling. So, Savannah, tell us all about you, how you got into wrestling journalism.
So I've been a wrestling fan since I was little. My uncle got me into wrestling. Got into Sting. Sting was like my first introduction to wrestling and WCW.
Wow.
Yeah, and then like life happens. I took a break from it. Started back up when I joined the military. Started following AJ Lee troops, and I began training in 2017 when I got out. and then I had to take a break from it for mental health issues. And then just this past September, I started getting into writing, and I was contacted by Wrestling Republic to start contributing with them. So that's where I'm at now.
That's awesome. Did you expect that?
No, everything just happened like one right after the other, and I kind of get like thrown into the wrestling media side.
Awesome.
Oh, hey Alex, I got echo coming from you. What's going on?
I'll come back. I got you. I got you.
I think I got echo coming from me too. This is just not technology is just sucks sometimes. All right, hold on 1 second.
Is it good now?
Hold on. All right, let me see. Am I getting echo now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not getting echo now, so hey. And you sound better, so everything just fixed all itself. And then it looks like you're getting a shout out from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. He says, "Hey, tell Savannah I said hi."
Hi.
So wow, so you were in the military. You came out. Where were you training at for wrestling?
I was training in the Norfolk area. I trained under one school, and then I switched to Professional Wrestling Alliance under Bo Crockett. That's where I last trained at, and then, like I said, I had to take a break to work on the mental health side, and I'm still deciding whether or not I want to come back to in-ring, but for now, I'm good with the media side.
Oh, okay. So did you go to school for journalism? Do you have a journalism background? What brought you into that world?
I'm actually still in school for journalism. I'm getting my degree at Norfolk State.
Congratulations.
So I'm using my veteran benefits to pay for my college.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you're a busy lady.
Yeah.
So what did you cover? Anything this week? It was a really jam-packed week of wrestling. Is there anything? Did you catch anything from Ring of Honor? Any highlights?
I caught the Ring of I caught Ring of Honor. I've been following Shane Taylor Promotions for a while, so it was nice to watch them in action last night. I've actually been covering the I guess we're going to talk about today. It's a Pro Wrestling Vibe festival that's going on in New Jersey that's being ran by Billy Dixon.
Wow.
And then I covered him being chosen #1 Outsports Pro Wrestler of the Year.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, tell us all about the event that's happening. I know it's a little ways away, but time does fly. Tell us about the event next summer, the PW Vibe. Billy Dixon, right? He's the one that he's the main promoter. It looks like Billy Dixon jumped on our Instagram, but then he jumped off. I was going to try to get him to come on our Facebook stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us all about that event.
So, Pro Wrestling Vibe is a merger with Butch for Score and Paris is Bumping, which are two shows that he's been running. This is going to be the first ever wrestling Pride Festival that's going to go on in Ridgefield, New Jersey. So right now, what I know is it's a stacked card. It's going to be another Paris is Bumping promotion, the Legends Ball. There's also going to be a Cassandra Cup happening. And just this past week, Faye Jackson was named as the commissioner. So every week, I would say new announcements going to come out.
Right,
So
it's like everything's evolving. It sounds like, and that's awesome. That's always.
Is there any surprises,
thing.
any exclusive you could drop here on the show, like something that hasn't been announced?
You're like, not really.
Not right, yeah. As soon as Billy drops something, that's when I know anything, yeah.
Right.
Well, we tried to get Billy on. I think he had a show but I think it got canceled, and I think he had to pull himself from it because I think he got COVID. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So we wish him well.
Safety took safety precautions and removed himself from the show.
Well, we wish him well. Hopefully, a speedy recovery.
For sure.
COVID's no joke. So hopefully he's all good. Yeah, I think in the wrestling world, they do take a lot more precautions with stuff like that.
Right.
I think at the AEW show in Long Island this week, they had what do you call it? Oh, hold on, my camera just got pulled here. Yeah, they had a whole thing about, I think you had to show proof of vaccination. And I know they're doing that in a lot of other places. So,
yep. Yeah, I know they did it in Virginia. I went to the Dynamite show in Norfolk.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You can continue.
Yeah. It was my first Dynamite show in Norfolk, and I had fun.
Wow.
That's
awesome. It's a different vibe, you know. And I got an email, you know, from WWE. The tickets went on sale for Monday Night Raw, and I think it's January 24th. I haven't been. The last wrestling show I went to was Hell in a Cell, when Little Caesars Arena just opened up. Mm-hmm. I was like, I got to be there for the new arena and a Hell in a Cell match, like just the vision of it. But that's the last wrestling show I went to. My daughter used to be into it big time with me. She's not no more. Kind of grew out of it. She just turned 17 October, so you know, so I don't have a partner in crime no more. But it's okay. It's okay because there's so much to consume in the wrestling world that I'm like, you know, we usually try to cover breaking news, but we try to cover, you know, just the I'll call it the meat and potatoes of the wrestling industry, which is AEW and obviously WWE. So, but yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, there's just so much to consume, and sometimes I don't know what to watch. I'm like, man, and me being a sports fan, you know, I watch boxing. I'm a big boxing fan, not so much UFC. It depends on who's fighting. So I'm like, there was 2 fights on yesterday, and then with all the wrestling going on. So if I don't watch the shows live on like Friday, which I usually do, I try to sit down and watch them and take notes and stuff. It's hard for me to catch up. I'm trying to rush today to watch Dynamite, and I got it on, you know, but you never know what we're going to talk about. But yeah, so go ahead. Tell us more about, you know,
I'm back.
If there's anything else that you wanted to talk about, but that's awesome.
Right now, well, as far as the journalism side, I'm mostly focused on the indie shows. It was last weekend. I was up in Connecticut. I went to Blitzkrieg Pro. That was like my first out of Virginia indie show I went to, and wow. I plan on going to more.
You must have liked it then, obviously.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. It was a long drive. It was a 9-hour drive from Virginia.
Wow. Was it worth it? Was it really worth it? Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So the festival next summer, is it going to be in Jersey? Is that where it's going to be at?
It's going to be in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey.
Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Okay. What kind of response are they getting as far as, you know, talking about the show? Are people really just like excited, hype? I mean, I see a lot more wrestlers being out in today's world. You know, it's just people are just trying to be their genuine selves, and it's good to see more and more wrestlers, you know, that are out publicly. And I'm sure this event will really draw a ton of attention.
Yeah, and the reaction has been absolutely positive. Everybody's been hyped about it. Especially with my article. When I wrote my article and it was published, I got a lot of retweets, a lot of shares. And I think that's where I put my position into this, because I want to showcase this community in a positive note and show how much wonderful talent we have.
That's fantastic. Did you catch the I think it was the picture of Anthony Bowen this week, and we had reposted it. Alex, I don't know if you had saw it, but Anthony Bowen, who is in AEW, a big star in AEW, you know, he's publicly out, and he posted a picture of him and his boyfriend. They were kissing at basically an anti-gay rally somewhere. Wow. So that picture went viral, but that was great. But something not so great happened on Dynamite on Wednesday. Did you catch that, Savannah?
I did. And fun fact, the Acclaim's actually my favorite tag team in AEW. So
you know what? Thank you for saying that, because no, you know what? Like they grew on me. I'll just keep it short and sweet. They grew on me, and watching them on Wednesday, you know what my favorite part is, and this will tell you, like, just when their music drops. And my man's like, and of course I'm a hip hop guy and all that, but you know, as soon as he gets on the mic, and he was like, "Hey, listen," I'm walking through my house like, listen, like these guys are. I just love it. I love it. I wish they'd switch up their gear a little bit. That's me being petty, be a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, hey, what if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
I love them. They are my favorite tag team over the Lucha Bros.
Right.
And that's saying a lot right there. But yeah, I love them.
Yeah, I actually got to interact with Max at Blitzkrieg.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's just an awesome person outside of the ring.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I think
That's awesome.
my favorite one is when they wrestled Bryan Danielson, and they ripped him. They ripped him on. It was right after all the WWE wrestlers got fired.
Yeah.
See, and that's talking about his father-in-law. Like, I was like, oh, that's good. That's good.
You don't know, and that's the beauty of music and hip hop. Like, you don't know what they're gonna expect them to say, and so for every opponent, you kind of got an idea, but you still don't know, which makes it what wrestling's supposed to be, interesting, and make you think.
That's always been on the hip hop side. That's always been my argument when it comes to Caster, because everybody tries to put him in a box that he doesn't want to be. He has his own style, and he's not trying to be somebody else. He's trying to be himself.
Exactly. Great point. For sure.
Yeah. So on Wednesday's show on Dynamite, and it's just Anthony Bowen had actually, I think he tweeted about it. I'm not on Twitter. I'm more of an Instagram, Facebook guy. But Alex, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. There was a derogatory term thrown out at Anthony when they were wrestling on Wednesday, and I thought he handled it beautifully, his response. But it's just sad to see shit like that. Like, I don't know. You know, wrestling fans. Yeah, I've been a wrestling fan since, you know, I was like 3 years old. So I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. And I think we get a bad enough name and a bad enough rap, you know, that we're nerds or this or that. And it's like, no matter, you can't get away from it. There's always people that are going to be hateful. And I'm not going to even repeat what the guy said. He just threw out a derogatory, you know, he yelled it out, and it was just bullshit. And just seeing that, it was just, you can't, it's hard to believe that in today's day, you know, people still are just ignorant and intolerant, and it's like but he handled it really well, and I'm sure, you know, as a man of color, we already got one strike against us, you know, people of color, and then, you know, if you're, you know, bi or homosexual or whatever the case may be, and it's just like one more obstacle. But in the wrestling world, it's really it seems like it's starting to become more accepting, because I'm sure 20 years ago, you know, you couldn't have been out, you know, especially with those guys back in the day. If you go back 20 years, you think about who was basically running everything. But I love to see that they're embracing that in AEW. Definitely seems to be, you know, it's great. I love seeing that. In WWE, I don't think it has been as accepted just yet. It doesn't seem like they're ready to embrace that yet. But I love seeing it on the independent circuit. If you're not familiar with Effie is like, I think, the biggest thing going right now, and he's phenomenal, just everything about him. So I'm hopefully he makes his way to, you know, one of the big organizations, but, you know, he's doing his thing, and there's just a lot of wrestlers out there Is there any wrestlers, Savannah, that you're particularly fond of?
There's Effie. There's Ashley Starr. Of course, Billy Dixon. There's Darius Carter. Billy Dixon and Darius Carter have had a feud throughout a whole bunch of promotions on the East Coast, and it's been wonderful to see.
That's awesome. Kind of like, is that kind of like, because I'm not too familiar with them, so it's like, I'll ask you, is that kind of like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens type deal where they feuded, or you know what I mean, something like that? Okay, because that would make me want to follow them a lot more. And what's the name? Billy
Dixon.
I love his Twitter handle, gayest wrestler in the world.
Is that his Twitter handle?
You're gonna own it. You're gonna own it.
Yeah.
Like I can respect that for real. And that I seen that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting on his shirt to drop. And a fun fact with me and Billy Dixon, which is another reason why covering this event is important to me. Me and Billy have been friends for since we trained together.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so covering this event for him and covering him winning the number one spot has been
extra special, huh? That's awesome. That's great.
We just got a comment saying Billy Dixon is the truth from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. See, I'm not on Twitter, so I didn't know that was his handle, but that is pretty fucking cool.
It's all love. Yeah. No, I was like, yeah, follow. That's what we do. We support.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some wrestling that went down this week. Ring of Honor had their huge show last night. Big surprises. Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman, showed up with EC3.
Really?
Yeah, showed up with EC3, and they kind of cleaned house. I think it was more towards the end of the show. I mean, there was just a lot of wrestlers that came out and showed love for Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has been kind of a passage, for many big wrestlers, that are, big superstars. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. I mean, the list goes on and on. A lot of guys have gone through Ring of Honor, and it was kind of, end of an era last night. They're hoping they'll be back sometime in the spring, maybe April or May, but you just never know. There was rumors that I think Tony Khan might be looking to try to help support Ring of Honor, maybe financially, to help them get back up and running. Savannah, did you catch any highlights or anything from the show last night for Ring of Honor?
I caught the Shane Taylor promotions, the tag team titles, and then his match. I was just excited. I was excited to see Shane Taylor promotions. Another Ring of Honor wrestler that I've been following is Dalton Castle. So, so moving forward, I'm excited to see where everybody's going to go.
Right. I mean, there's so many names out there, and I think every week we kind of just speculate, where is this person going to show up? Where is this person going to show up? WWE just got fire happy. I think, what did they say? They released, like, how many wrestlers? At least 50-plus wrestlers, I believe, have been released. Taya Valkyrie is doing something pretty huge with, it looks like with
Impact?
AAA, yep.
Oh, she went
AAA.
back. Okay, wow.
Yeah, she's back with AAA. She just we just reposted something. She took this really cool ass picture with the Lucha Brothers. But yeah, it looks like she's ready to do some damage and over there in AAA. I'm excited to see that.
That's a huge win for them,
right? Yeah, Taya Valkyrie. I cannot believe she got released by the WWE. But I mean, that goes along with so many of the other ones that they've released. It just a lot of the shit just doesn't make sense. And then the big news this week is Jeff Hardy got released. They said he may have relapsed. He may WWE offered to put him back into rehab, and they were saying that he denied it. But then there's rumors saying that maybe he was just looking to get fired because he wants to jump over to AEW and do kind of like have a last run with his brother, Matt Hardy. So I don't know. His wife released a statement and said that he's okay. That was huge news that Jeff Hardy was doing a show, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but basically in the middle of a match, he just basically walked out of the ring and then went up into the crowd,
tagged out, and then
WWE sent him home and then the next day he was released. So, any
Wow.
thoughts on that? Savannah, did you catch any of that? What do you think? You think he's going to jump over? He's going to be in AEW like next week?
If what everybody's saying is true, I feel like Jeff Hardy needs to take care of himself first before jumping ship anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely had his issues with substance abuse over the years, and man, wrestling it's tough. It's a tough gig, and you know when you battle your demons and then you're traveling like shit, 300 days out of the year.
Right.
I mean that shit wears you down. John Moxley, there was a John Moxley sighting. They're saying that he may be out of rehab now. He checked into rehab a little while back, so maybe we'll see Mox back in AEW sometime soon, or maybe after the new year. But I mean, shit, wrestling, it takes its toll. And then the Hardy Boys, I mean, those guys are the original ones, in WWE that were just killing themselves, ladder matches and this and that. I mean, that's got to take its toll over almost 20 years.
Yeah.
His brother doesn't really do much wrestling in AEW. He had something going on with Orange Cassidy, but he's obviously not doing the spots like he used to. But maybe sometime next year it would be nice to see the Hardy Boys maybe get one more run. That would be interesting to see them go up against the Jackson Boys over there in AEW.
Or FTR, or like they can use them. They can use another tag team definitely over there.
I mean they have a legit
their caliber.
Unlike WWE, they have a legit tag team division in AEW. I mean, they're keeping tag team wrestling going.
Yeah, they're just not throwing people together and like, make it happen. So
yeah,
for sure.
So this week on AEW? Man, I'm trying to think. Bryan Danielson. I don't know if you've been following what's going on between him and Hangman Page, but he pretty much worked his way through the Dark Order. he kind of whooped all their asses, and now next week for Winter is Coming. Their big show to end the year. It's going to be Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page. Who do you got in that match, Savannah?
I got Hangman retaining.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I don't see him dropping the title.
Yeah, I don't think it's time yet, huh? I don't think it's time yet to put that belt on. You gotta squeeze all of that out of that. You know what I mean? And maybe down the road set that up for him and CM Punk. You know what I mean? Like maybe in April or something. Like I don't know. How the pay-per-view is gonna go and stuff. So, but I'm not. I still want a little bit more of this Daniel Bryan being an ass. So I agree with you.
Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson.
Not Daniel Bryan.
I haven't did that in a minute, but okay. It's okay.
Well, we're big Bryan Danielson. I'm a huge Bryan Danielson fan.
No, I
want to see him win the belt. I agree. It might be a little too soon, but hey, I mean, shake some shit up. I don't really think people should be holding on to the belt for like a year.
Right.
Why did they have to hold the belt so long? I like back in the day, guys just dropping the belt left and right. I think it's entertaining. You throw more people,
you know what?
You throw more people in the mix.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'll ask you a question, Savannah. Like, I don't know if you tune into the long 8-hour Monday Night Raw show, but there was a phenomenal match that I actually was like tuned in 100%, and that was Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. The match was great. I know they're grabbing the grabbing the ropes, kind of they're wearing it out now and stuff. But the match was great. I've always been a fan of Liv Morgan when she came, NXT and all that. There's just something about her, and then her backstory and all that stuff like that. But I don't know if you caught that match, but like, what did you think about that? Because I thought if you're WWE and you're trying to shake things up, it's not going to hurt Becky Lynch to lose the belt, and then like you can put it right back on her, like as long as it makes sense, it'll make sense. So I don't know if you saw that match, but go ahead.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of the match, and I agree. I don't know what the goal is for Becky with the title, but if she were to, I would like to see Liv get it eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, and I think Alex and I probably share it, I think the women's division in WWE is probably the only good thing going. Their women's division is phenomenal. I think they put on way better matches than the men. I think if any advantage they have over AEW is the women's division. I mean, you could just throw a rock and hit somebody, and I mean they can go.
Right.
You know, and for the exception, maybe like Carmella, who I don't think should be there at all.
Yeah.
But you got Bianca Belair. And now Liv Morgan. They're kind of giving her a push. Which
Dewdrop. Nice. I wish that name would go away, but it's not. So.
Well,
I love that matchup though. I
saw something on the internet. They just put the licensing for her old name, so she.
Oh wow, Piper Niven. Is it Livin or
Niven?
Niven? Okay, I love that name so much more. My gosh, like where did the Dewdrop name? What do they? I don't get it. I'm sorry.
They're creative. I'm just not creative. She can put on a hell of a match though, and then I don't know if you caught. Was it SummerSlam? Or no, it was the
Survivor Series.
Saudi Arabia, where her and Selena Vega and Dewdrop.
Oh yeah,
they went at it, and that was. I mean, shit. You talking about? You had no idea how this match was going to go.
5-star match.
It was a hell of a match. It was probably one of the better matches.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We got somebody saying, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho didn't have an excellent match the other day. I gotta be honest. I didn't catch that match.
Yeah, so. I was actually in the middle of it before we started the show, but that's hard to believe. I might have to check that out.
I think Ruby Soho, her jumping over to AEW definitely brought some cachet over to the women's division over there. I wasn't really big on her in WWE, but she's definitely put on some pretty solid matches since jumping over to AEW. Is there any women that you like over in AEW?
Jade.
Oh, Jade Cargill.
That's my number one.
She is.
That's my China. That's my China. I call her. And no disrespect to China or her, but look at her.
A powerhouse.
Look at her.
Yeah.
So, do you got her winning that TBS women's title?
Oh yeah, I definitely do.
Now,
it was made for her.
What are they going to do with that? Are they going to have them go like champion versus champion? Because honestly, I think Jade Cargill should be going for the main women's title. I'm not huge on Britt Baker. She's a good heel. In the ring, I think she's solid. I don't think she's fantastic. But Britt Baker, she's had that title for how long now?
It's been a minute.
Has it been a year?
Almost a couple years, right? I want to say almost a year and a little over a year and a half. I think I have to go back to that. Yeah. How do you feel about her, Savannah?
Besides the fact she's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan,
right? I can appreciate that being a Lion fan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I enjoy watching her in the ring.
Right.
But
I see how you threw that. I see how you threw that football in there. I know you're a Bengals fan, so okay, yeah. I got that.
So I would like to see either Ruby take the title from her.
Yeah.
Definitely Ruby.
Yeah, set somebody up to chase them, and I think Ruby Soho is perfect person for somebody to chase them. I'm a big Jamie Hayter fan. I'm just throwing names out there for you. I don't mean to cut you off, but what do you think about her? Like, I'm a huge, I want her to be alone. I think she'd be a great heel, but I don't know what it is about her, but big Jamie Hayter fan.
I'm just as far as her work, I'm just starting to get into her.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what 2022 is in store as far as like the title changes and everything like that.
Right, for sure.
Well, I'm calling it right now. Bryan Danielson wins the belt next week. So I know everybody disagree with it, but I think he should get the belt.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did put it on him and make Hangman Page chase him again, even though he just went through hell and back to get it. But it kind of makes a little sense. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I mean? So,
well, they kind of teased. They kind of teased something in an interview. Bryan Danielson talked about him and CM Punk were kind of heading for a big match at WrestleMania some years back, but it never happened. So
Right.
I like to think when they drop stuff like that in interviews, they're leading up to something possibly. Um, but I mean, you never know. The CM Punk MJF thing, I think, is the best thing going in AEW right now
Oh
for the
yeah.
men.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, MJF, this dude. I mean, he's what? I think
Hilarious.
he's 25, and he's got mic skills like I've never really. I mean, I think he's superior to CM Punk on the mic.
Oh yeah.
I think he's kind of destroyed him. I don't think CM Punk is as good on the mic as he used to be. And
Right.
maybe he's just warming up. I don't know. But
Right.
it looks like MJF is getting under his skin. And I cannot wait. But I want to drag this shit out for like a while. I want
Yeah.
to see it just go.
Yeah, I
and
can
go.
hear them. I can listen to them talk. Just that, I'll pay to hear them talk in a ring. I don't even need to see them wrestle. To be honest with you, I'm a big promo guy. Like I always make fun of my, you know, bring up my name, the sports mod. Like I love the talking. That's where it's at. That, I mean, you can make money off of talking. That's where it starts. To make you bring them in, bringing the fans in, wanting to see, you know, eventually wanting to see the match in the ring. So I'm a big time promo guy. So yeah, he's the cream of the crop as far as I'm concerned, for sure. And I will say this: Monday Night Raw, The Miz did cut a hell of a promo, as he always does. So I love that. You know, I'm a big fan of him too. But
Well, let's switch gears. We'll talk about WWE for a minute. I like what's going on Monday Night Raw. Take it is a 3-hour show, which is just long as hell. I really wish they would switch to 2 hours. 3 hours sometimes is just it's too much.
yeah,
They need like another
never
show.
gonna happen,
They
but
need to
yeah,
bring
I
like
agree.
Sunday Night Heat back or something because like it's just a lot of garbage, a lot of time filling.
right.
But I'm not big on the whole thing with Miz and Edge because personally I hate Edge. I think he sucks. I wish he never
Wow.
came. I wish he never came back. I don't like
Tell us
Edge.
how you feel.
I think
Right.
he's garbage. I don't understand Edge as a main eventer.
I kind of looked at him like that too. Like I liked him more when he was with Christian, with the
Right.
tag team. There was all, but I feel you. Him and Art, you know, Randy Orton was okay, but yeah.
I got Pro Wrestling.
I can live
Podcast
without
saying,
him.
Whoa, hot take. Like I guess.
I mean,
Hey.
I can give or take without him, and I appreciate his skill and all that. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah.
But he's
I don't know.
not great on the mic. He's never been great
Right.
on the mic, and I don't think he's that great in the ring. He was a great tag team guy. I don't think he should have ever been a singles wrestler. This is just my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people disagree. I know a lot of people love Edge. I don't.
Right.
I was happy when he went away. The whole thing with him and Seth Rollins, that feud, it was horrible.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan. I'm a bigger fan of Beth Phoenix, his wife. So I'm just saying, like,
well, she's definitely she's a Hall of Famer. She's fantastic. But
yeah, she is great.
I've never been big on Edge, but I kind of like what they're doing here with the Miz. The Miz, I think
different.
The Miz is a perfect heel. When the definition of a heel, Miz is it. I mean, he makes you like MJF makes you want to just hate him. Like, man, if I seen this guy in the street now, I'd punch him in the face. Like,
and I'm laughing. I'm laughing because when he cut his promo, he brought up, I know you're wondering where my beautiful, talented wife is at. Like,
right.
That, you have to do things like that. Don't let them forget. Because I was happy when I seen her come back. She's like almost a bigger heel than he is to me. She comes out. I love how she does the hand thing. Like I don't know. She just has it, and she makes him look, like they say, behind every man is a great woman and all that. And she makes him extra special when he comes out. Or, so huge fan of her. I hope she gets back into the ring because they can use that. They can use that. And you know what? Let me ask you this: Are you a Toni Storm fan? Or are you kind of getting? I know she just came up to the main roster. Really, she's been there for a minute, but
I watched her in the Mae Young Classic.
Okay, yeah.
So I enjoy watching her.
Yeah, her and Charlotte Flair. I mean, they had a pretty good match. I like that feud, but I'm a big fan. Like I said, big fan of her. You know, I don't know if you watched NXT, but obviously that's when, you know, from the May Classic. And you know what? Speaking about the May Classic, that was like one of my. I watched those with, you know, I lost my father a couple of years ago, and he was obviously that's where I got into wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched the cruiserweight tournament and then the Mae Young Classic with my daughter and my father. That was like some of the last wrestling I watched with both of them, and that I had so much fun watching that. It was just cool to see all these different women individuals, you know, from other independent wrestling shows and stuff. You know what I mean? Just it's always good to see new talent and just something fresh. So, you know, that was good for the eyes and everything. but yeah,
I'm not big. I've never been, and I'm still in the studio here. I know my camera keeps. It's just nothing but technical difficulties.
Go ahead,
but I'm
we
still
can hear
here.
you though. As long as we can hear or see you.
Yeah.
The hearing is the most important part.
Right. So
Obviously.
NXT, I have to be honest. I haven't followed NXT. You know, once in a while, I kind of check in on it. There's just so much wrestling. To me, I think the NXT product is not great, but I think they've had some really good wrestlers come up from NXT. I'm not real familiar with Toni Storm. You know, I know they got some, you know, looks like they're trying to build her up, and then they got something going on with Charlotte Flair. And speaking of Charlotte Flair, you might be sad about this news, Alex, but Andrade.
They're reunited.
Andrade. Oh, we lost Savannah too. We lost her camera. But Andrade. Okay. Andrade posted on Instagram. He said, "Fuck fake news." So I think he's trying to say that him and Charlotte are still together.
Damn.
But they removed a lot of pictures of each other off social media. I think people get so caught up with this shit. I think people just want to be talked about. You know what I mean? If you're talking about them, then I guess they're happy with that, right? What do they say? All news is not necessarily bad news. Or
controversy creates cash, like Eric Bischoff says in his book.
Or all press is good press.
Right, which is not true. At least what I was taught in broadcast school. That's a lie, but yeah.
So it sounds like Charlotte Flair and Andrade may still be together. So sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to burst your bubble.
Okay. Hey, it's all right. Hey, Seth Rollins took Becky Lynch from me. And, you know, so I mean, hey, I'm running that. That's why I just brought up Toni Storm. Hey, there's always another way to go, man. Like, I love Toni Storm. I think she's amazing in the ring and obviously easy on the eyes, but I just want to see that new talent. I want to, you know, you gotta build, like I always talk about on this show, you got to build that talent up. You have to, you know what I mean? You just have to do that, especially if you don't have much. If you're releasing all your talent, you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta, everybody's got to evolve for the sake of the business. So
let's talk about that for a minute. Savannah, is there any wrestlers that you're looking at that got released? Some of the big names, obviously, you know, Karrion Kross, his wife Scarlett Bordeaux, I think she's popping up somewhere now. Is there any big names? We've talked about this. AEW, I'm not sure if they have any more room for any wrestlers. I think their roster's pretty jam-packed. So is there any big names that you're looking for that you're like, hey, I think they're going to show up in Impact or they're going to show up in NAW or NWA? What are your thoughts, or who's some wrestlers that you're like, damn, you want to see them show up at this?
Hit Row, because how they got released was
wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, Hit Row. Obviously, we saw formerly known as Braun Strowman show up last night. I'm excited to see what everybody's doing, but you know, like Tony said, AEW right now is there's not enough room to bring everybody in, especially with how Ring of Honor ended. That's why I'm saying the indie scene is going to be huge next year. Right.
I believe that. Not everybody is going to go and get a big contract with WWE, obviously, once again, releasing everybody in AEW. Like, so I agree with you. I could see, like, it's huge, you know.
Well, since you're an insider, what independent wrestling organization should we keep an eye out for? It looks like MLW's making some big moves.
MLW has their open door policy where anybody can show up.
Okay.
John Gresham and Baron Black have a promotion coming up called Terminus. That's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia next month. GCW is going to be at the Hammerstein next month.
Yeah, they look like they're making some big moves. Hey, Alex, GCW is doing a show in Detroit January 14th. I'm going to try to see if we can get you there, man. Kevin Nash is going to be there.
Wow. I mean, I did not see that. Let me go to the page.
I think Sabu's going to be there. Sabu was trying to say he was retiring, but now he's back again. So I don't know. Wow. I've always been a big Sabu fan.
I might have to make that.
Maniac. So, GCW, MLW, you're talking about Terminus. Is there any other organizations out there that you're like, keep an eye out for these guys next year too?
I mean, all the
I see it.
probably those are the top ones, like GCW. I know in St. Louis they're having an all-black wrestling show in St. Louis in February.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And then, Pro Wrestling Vibe stuff in next June. So it's a lot of stuff that's happening, that's going to be happening on the indies next year.
Right.
Sounds like 2022 is going to be a huge year for wrestling.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Leon Ruff?
Yes.
Okay. I did not know he's from Detroit, and he is going to be on that show at Harpo's, Detroit, Michigan. Wow. I mean, if that's the Harpo's that I think it is, oh my God, I thought that place was closed down like forever. So obviously somebody took it over and they're doing something like that. That's a big deal. Sabu, Kevin Nash, Rhino, Shelley, Jacobs, Sabu, Kevin Nash return home. So that's a huge show right there. I definitely might have to make that. That's on a Friday, 7 p.m., January 14th. So wow. That's pretty cool to see.
Sucks about the Hammerstein. It's on a Sunday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I got my real life job.
Right. Dan ballroom, right?
Yeah.
Hammerstein ballroom. Wow, that's like a place I would like to go to watch wrestling, as opposed to next to Madison Square Garden, of course. Yeah. But that's a big deal. That's awesome. But so, I don't know. He's obviously having some technical difficulties, a lot more than last week. But I don't know if you want to stay on. I appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to talk to myself. But I was just looking up. I was just telling her about I found a GCW, and I'm blown away by where it's at. It's at Harpo's, Detroit. I mean, I've been in that place a long time ago. Obviously, Detroit's a little bit of rough area, and
but Detroit's a huge
somebody must have
wrestling
bought
town,
that.
Man.
Yeah, Harpo's you can see that right off the freeway. So that's a big deal, though. Rhino returns, Shelley, Jacobs, Sabu, Kevin Nash, all come home. Leon Ruff. That's huge, man. That's on a Friday. I might have to catch that for sure, man.
No, we're gonna have to try to get you to that show. Maybe we can get you a first pass.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Savannah come up to Detroit in
January.
January.
To get me,
you ever been to Detroit in January?
Flying when I had to fly to Ohio, so going through the Detroit airport was like my first experience of Detroit.
Oh wow. Was it
That's
good?
Not a good one.
Was it good or no?
It was all right. It was a huge airport.
Right.
Oh, the pro from Pro Wrestling Podcast said Detroit ain't bad. I can't even say that seriously. Come on, man. Don't be talking about Detroit now. I mean, you're in Chicago.
Hey, if you're going to talk about it.
Chicago's great, but don't be talking about
Detroit. But they're like brother and sister right there. So, I mean, if you're going to, you already know if you're going to talk about Detroit, then you might as well not come down. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, but you're always invited.
Yeah, right?
I'll take you around. I'll show you the ropes. Hey, it's a lot better than what it used to be, whether people like to believe that or not. It's a lot, still evolving. So that's another story for another podcast. But
you're talking about all the gentrification. Yeah,
yeah.
Is that what you call evolving?
Right.
So, anyways, it sounds like 2022 is going to be a huge year for the indie scene.
Sure.
We're excited. Is there anywhere you're going to be, Savannah, coming up? Anything you want to plug? Where you're going to be at? What you're covering next?
I'm definitely going to be at all the. I'm going to start hitting up all the Washington D.C. promotions.
Oh, wow.
Beginning of the year. I'll be at MCW December 30th. They have a show in Baltimore. I'll be up there.
MCW. So is that the one that the guy just said that the owner said that are they closing up shop, or is that their last event, or are they not using a building anymore?
They're not using a building anymore. So
okay.
After this last show, they'll be relocating somewhere else.
Okay. All right. I didn't mean to cut you off. You mentioned that, and I was just like, I think I just saw something that they were either closing up or, maybe moving buildings. I think is Scarlett Bordeaux scheduled to be at that show? I think is that the organization that she just joined up with? Does that sound right? Or am I not right on that?
I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of Ring of Honor names that are going to be there.
Right.
And then the Acclaim is going to be there too.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So that's December 30th, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is gonna be there. I just found it on Twitter.
Okay. I thought I had seen that was
MCW 12 or she already was. It actually says the date was 12/4. 12/4 MCW, Maryland.
So she already showed up.
Yep.
I'm curious to see where her husband's gonna pop up at.
Yeah, I could see him going back to the AAA with her. I mean,
well, he changed his look. He changed. He's not bald anymore. He grew his hair and
right.
He looks a little weird. I think he shave his head again, but that's just me.
Right.
I'm bald, so I'm jealous of anybody with hair.
And I just seen Karrion Kross. He went the opposite way. He grew hair.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about John Morrison for a minute.
No. That's Taya's husband. We're talking about Scarlett Bordeaux.
Yeah, I'm getting them all confused. I'm going through the Twitter here, but wow, Karrion Kross looks weird with hair. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he looks a little odd. He doesn't look as scary.
Intimidating,
now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like maybe an insurance salesman now. Anything else you want to plug, Savannah?
Yeah, check out the Pride and Vibe Festival that's happening. Got to pull up my notes, make sure I got before Billy kills me. Let's see. June 17th and 18th, Ridgefield Park. That's when.
Ridgefield Park, New Jersey.
You got the British Bulldog over there.
Yeah. Shih Tzu pit.
Well, we appreciate you coming on today.
Yes,
we talked a lot of wrestling. Love hearing about the independent scene. We're big supporters of the independent scene. We'd love to have you on again. We love talking wrestling with people. So you being a wrestling journalist, I mean, you cover a lot. So don't shy. Say hi. Drop some messages. We'd love to have you on again, maybe after New Year. Hear about your December 30th. And
yes, big things. It's awesome.
For January 14th, if you want to go freeze your ass off.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for having me, and
for sure.
Yeah, I would love to come back in the future.
Yeah, tell everybody where we can find you on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook.
Twitter, you can find me. My handle on Twitter, Instagram are the same. Savannah with 2 N's, RG90. I'm mostly on Twitter. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me at.
Oh, I found you already. Awesome.
There you go. Alex is a big Twitter guy. I got off Twitter a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm just a Twitter, Instagram
Too much
guy.
negativity on there.
Right.
Too much negativity. I just like looking at nice pictures on Instagram. You know? Well,
Yeah,
thanks
thank you
again
so
for
much.
having
I
us
really
on,
appreciate it.
Savannah. We loved hearing all about your take on it. Don't forget the PW Vibe, or is it called? What is it? Pride and Vibe? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Pride and Vibe, June 16th and 17th.
June 17th and 18th.
Okay, June 17th and 18th in Richfield Park, New Jersey. Is there a website they could go to buy tickets yet or not yet?
They can follow the tickets are gonna drop January 28th.
Okay.
You can follow them on both Instagram and Twitter at PW Vibe, and like I said, weekly they'll be providing updates.
Okay, fantastic, and we'll make sure we share it, we post it. Want to help promote the event? Hey, the event's promoting equality, right? Let's go into 2022 with just lots of love, and hey, just be who you want to be, right?
Right.
Respect
thanks again,
each other.
Savannah.
Yeah,
We
thank you so
appreciate
much.
coming on. Have a happy Sunday. And then, as Alex say, go Lions. Maybe they'll get win number 2 this week. I don't know how your Bengals are doing.
They're playing the 49ers, so I'm kind of nervous.
Right. That's it. Yeah, that's 50-50 right there. I'll go with the Bengals.
Go with the Bengals. There
I'll
you go.
go with
Alex calling it for the Bengals.
I'll go with Joe Burrows for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Savannah. You have yourself a wonderful Sunday. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, no, fantastic. That was a. I'm having a ton of technical difficulties today. She was having an issue with her mic. I turned her mic down. I was able to. I figured that out. Hey, if you're on Instagram Live, come on over to Facebook. We're going to chat here for a little bit longer. We had Savannah Gill on today, who is a wrestling journalist and contributor to the Wrestling Republic. She was telling us all about the indie scene. And if you missed the show, we will definitely be up on Apple Podcast and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all those spots after the show. So stay tuned for that.
For sure.
Did you catch SmackDown and this shit that's going on with Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? I mean, this shit is funny.
I loved it,
but
man.
I want to get your take on it.
I thought Brock Lesnar was amazing, man. For him not, people, him always having Paul Heyman as a mouthpiece, but I thought he was awesome, man. I thought that interaction was so great. It was funny as hell. Just the way Sami Zayn, I was like, man, he's gonna flip him around again some more. Really like it. And this is one little detail that in between their conversation, Sami Zayn was like, oh God, what did he say? Like he kind of cut Brock Lesnar off, and he was like, Brock Lesnar says, how bad are you really actually hurt? And he is like, what do you mean? It's a 10. What do you mean? It's like just that timing. Sami Zayn is so good. He is great on the mic compared to like an Edge or something. I mean, he makes Edge. I think Edge is okay, but Sami Zayn is just like on a whole other different level, man. But I like the segment, yeah. And you got Paul Heyman just standing in the corner, just sitting there like. But all I know is the shit's gonna hit the fan next week when Roman Reigns comes back, because Paul Heyman was giving him a little bit too much love, man, back to his old buddy Brock Lesnar. So I loved just the storyline. I'm looking at the big picture, but I loved Sami Zayn. Like he was like, I'm in a wheelchair. He's like, a wheelchair, really?
Right.
It was good comedy.
It's entertaining. Yeah, it's definitely entertaining.
It wasn't like slapstick. It was like good comedy, like entertaining comedy. Wasn't cheesy. I don't like that cheesy stuff, but.
Well, the big talk on the internet was Brock Lesnar's overalls.
He's a hunter, man.
What he was wearing. It was just funny. I was like,
yeah. And you know what I think? When it comes to that, I think it's a good thing, because a lot of people only looked at Brock Lesnar as one person. Like, unless you really follow him and his background, and he's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like, I want to chill on my land and just be away from everybody. Right. He's not a people person, as like I said. If you follow their careers, you kind of know that they come in, they take care of business, and they go home. That's all they're there for. Which and it's real. It's real. So if you're not a big fan of Brock Lesnar like that, then you know that he's a hunter, he's a fisherman. Like he's
Right.
he's an old school guy, and he just keeps to himself. And I can respect that because I'm the type of person like I always say when I go to a ball game or a movie theater, like just even when I go to the market, I park away from everybody. You'll see my car parked in a whole different other lot by myself. I don't like to be by nobody. You can take that however you want. It might be a mean thing or not, but no. So I like I said, I just respect their the way they carry themselves, and they're professional, man. So
right. Well, Brock Lesnar invited Sami Zayn to go hunting and fishing, and he said, "Well, I'm a vegan," and then he's like, I was like, wow, this shit.
That was
funny.
Good, man.
It's funny. I think Sami Zayn in the ring, I think he sucks.
Really?
I don't like him.
He definitely doesn't look the part. He looks like a guy that's asking for the panhandling out at the corner store. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at him.
Yeah, I'm not big on Sami in the ring.
Right.
I love the feud between him and Kevin Owens. I mean, that was good shit.
But, I mean, it's a placeholder. I'm looking at it. It's a placeholder for Brock Lesnar to work, build through the storyline. So I like how they're implementing these different talents. Like now I want to see who's going to be next after he's like out of Brock Lesnar's life. Like, okay, who are they going to put in that position now going into the new year, or if they even do anything else with that, because you got the day one coming up. And let me ask your thoughts on that. What do you think Roman Reigns is going to lose the belt?
I have no
thoughts. Do you think he? I don't know what to. I just kind of want to watch that and just enjoy it. It's the first one. Just take it for what it is. So
I'm like,
it's exciting though. I guess
I'm like, please drop the belt because I'm so sick of him being the champ. I can't fucking stand him as being the champ.
Hey man,
these segments are entertaining, man. But
you already know. Hey, bring the real head of the table back. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying I didn't wear this shirt for that purpose, but I happen to have it on.
If we're showing merchandise, look what I got here. I got. You couldn't see it behind me in the window, but
oh wow,
got the WC old school WCW.
That's my. What's funny?
Belt.
Next to that belt, that's my favorite one, and then the Wing Eagle belt that Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. And I like the one Triple H wore, but yeah, the original ones that's sweet. That's sweet.
So yeah, let's talk about WWE heading into their next pay-per-view, which is day one. You got Lesnar, Roman Reigns. I mean, you already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe they'll shock the world and Lesnar will win. And take the belt off of him.
Yeah, I mean, look, once again, man, I can. What's good for business is good for business. You know what I mean? So, like, if they were to do that, and you can do it in a way where it doesn't make either one of them look bad, or make Roman Reigns look bad. Somebody, maybe one of the Usos, maybe Paul Heyman interferes for the second time, and who knows? And maybe that there's a little beef between him and Roman Reigns, and maybe he's on the side of Lesnar. Like I don't know. Maybe they can bounce him back and forth. There's so much you can do with this, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, let's jump over the Raw. I like the picture that they're painting with Raw for the title. You got a lot of guys in the mix.
Yeah.
Now you have Kevin Owens, who's actually rumored. I think they're saying that his contract is up.
Right.
Coming up.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That they're letting him have one last title shot, and it doesn't look like he's going to re-sign with WWE. WWE's dropped the ball on Kevin Owens, man. Yeah. Kevin Owens, to me, I've always been big on him.
Me too.
He's phenomenal in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's the total package, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously he doesn't look like Roman Reigns or Bobby Lashley.
Right.
But I'm a big Kevin Owens fan.
Yeah.
I love
Kevin
Owens.
Me too, man. Always been.
So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Big E, the champ, and they're trying to maybe crowbar Bobby Lashley into the mix too, which I ain't mad at.
Yeah, I don't think they know what to do with him, man. And he should definitely always be in the mix. I mean, the guy looks phenomenal. Looks like a freaking Greek god, like they say, or just like he's just. I mean, look at him, man. What more do you need to do with that guy? Like, or maybe they're keeping him out of the picture for a little bit to bring him back in once they let these other guys get some of the spotlight, like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. But yeah, I've always been high on Kevin Owens, man. That's actually one of the first wrestling shirts that I bought, when he was in NXT with the KO. So
right,
where it was like the tape and all that. Like I've always been high on him. So yeah, we'll see what happens. If they were to put the belt on Kevin Owens, I don't see that happening. But if they did, I would love it. I would love it. So
me personally, I want to see Rollins get the belt. I would rather him be the champ
I wouldn't be
on Monday Night
mad
Raw.
at that.
I'm gonna call it right now, but we'll talk about the show as it gets closer. We gotta get through Christmas,
right?
And a lot of things could happen in WWE. They could release fucking Kevin Owens before the show. I don't know. You never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited to see this match. So if they add Bobby Lashley into the mix, like a fatal 4-way match, they haven't done something like that in years.
Yeah, it has been a minute. Yeah,
and I would. Sure. That's the kind of shit I want to see with the heavyweight title. One person at a time thing has gotten old, especially like Roman Reigns. He's just going.
And they're wrestling each other. Yeah, they're wrestling each other every week. Like it's so it's just so. It's like I don't want to use the word obvious, but you know what I mean. You kind of see what's coming already, and
right.
I like the mixture of everybody in there, so just the element of surprise, man. So like Vince McMahon says, so let me ask you this: what did you think? What do you think about what Austin Theory and Vince McMahon? Like what? Obviously you get the rub, you're getting a rub off Vince McMahon. I mean that's huge, man. Whether you like it or not, but. I don't know where to go with it. It's different.
I don't know enough about Austin Theory to really say. I don't know. I mean, you're an NXT guy.
Right.
Is he good on the ring? He's kind of, I don't know. He's definitely got a heel vibe to him.
Right.
I'm not really sure where they're going with it. I think it's kind of stupid. Whatever.
I think that he's going to be the next, like maybe 5 to 10 years, 8 years down the road, I think he's going to be where like Seth Rollins is at if he can stay healthy and all that. I mean, I think they got something with him for sure. So obviously Vince McMahon sees something in him. I mean, he, fired half the roster and you got this guy sitting next to him. So that means something, man. I mean, there's, good looking guy. He can go in the ring. Looks like a heel. He's a full blown heel.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't mess it up. So we'll see. He, like they said, the element of surprise. I got a kick out of Vince McMahon telling him, expect the unexpected, and then when you don't expect the unexpected, be surprised. And if you're not surprised, I was like, What's going on here? What is he talking about?
I don't think anybody's writing anything for him. I think he's just popping off at the mouth. So,
but
anyways, you got day one coming up, New Year's Day, WWE's next big pay-per-view, which is leading up to one of my favorite, which is the Rumble. And I guess that'll be at the end of January. I don't know why they came up with this new day one shit, but I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Right.
So next week on Dynamite, huge card for their winner. Winner is coming. Man, I'm going to call it Bryan Danielson goes over Hangman Page.
We'll see.
I hope so. We shall see.
Yeah.
But it's
if he cheats or something, I can see that. I mean, if he's a full blown heel, let's see him cheat and take that belt from him, man. Which I think I could see it stirring, like it would stir it up a lot better and make like hold on. He just went through all of this to get the belt, and now he got cheated out of it. So I can go along with that. I mean, that'll make it more. You got to build up. You got to always build up to the next show or pay per view, whatever it is. So, got to keep people tuned in, man. And that I could see that's a good way to go. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I think you're right. Bryan Danielson not getting the clean win and him winning the belt, I think is a perfect way. It doesn't take anything away from Hangman Page.
It just adds more heat to him even more. And I love it.
Well, Bryan Danielson keeps starting. He's doing a lot of podcast interviews. And interviews. He's talking about starting his own faction. So
I did see that.
Him talking about that, someone unexpectedly helping him win the title, it makes sense.
Do you think?
Pro from Pro Wrestling Podcast, if you're still on, I want your thoughts on that. But I could see that he keeps mentioning it like week after week.
Do you think that the Wyndham Rotunda? Do you think that he could come and end up joining him and be like blowing everybody's mind? Like, whoa! and Bryan Danielson being the leader of him, and then maybe them, but like. I don't know why that popped in my head, but it's just a thought because I don't know what he's out there doing, or if he's coming, or what the deal is with him. Formerly Bray Wyatt, of course, but I miss him, man. I'm still waiting. I still got my alarm set for him to show up. That's all I'm waiting for is him.
I'd like to say you're talking about somebody maybe joining him like a big name. I personally think what would be kind of badass, it would be similar to Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash when he was Diesel. Maybe Adam Scherr, formerly Braun Strowman, shows up in AEW, and then he's like Bryan Danielson's version. That would be.
I would love that.
So he's like his bodyguard, but maybe he causes Paige to lose the match. Bryan Danielson gets the win, and then I wouldn't be mad at that. He starts building his faction.
Right, and then slowly bring them guys in. Yeah, that man. I don't know, but. I'm a big faction guy. I'm hoping that that's true. I did see a couple articles, and I listened to another, wrestling podcast, Wrestling Inc. Shout out to them. They always do good things, and they break down the news pretty well. So I kind of go off of them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Wyndham Rotunda to show up. That was my guy, man. That was been my guy for a long, long time. So,
well, hey, you heard it here first. If Bryan Danielson gets the win and it's not clean and a big name, a surprise helps him, we called it.
Right. For sure. Adam Scherr.
Right. For sure. Adam Scherr. Well, hey, that's going to do it for us today for ATW, All Things Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Tony Twist. Alex, the sports mouth of the 313. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on Instagram, ATW Podcast for Life. ATW Podcast, All Things Wrestling on Facebook. Tune into our show next week. Not sure who our guest is going to be, but sure to be a great guest. I want to thank Savannah Gill.
Yes, thank you so much.
Promoting the PW Vibe event next summer.
Right, go Bengals.
Right,
and go Lions.
She's a wrestling journalist. She's a contributor to the Wrestling Republic. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to Pro from Pro Wrestling Podcast for checking in and commenting today. That's going to do it for us today, man.
Yep.
Go Lions or what?
We'll see.
Win number
called 2 in a row. They win. That's called a winning streak. Like we had played a little snippet yesterday from the Indians. Hey, that's 2 in a row, man. It's called a winning streak. So we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, everybody, thank you for tuning in. You can once again follow us on all platforms, whether you have Android or iPhone, and have a blessed Sunday.
And that'll do it.
And see you next week.
See you next week, and we're out.